in this bear market, we might be tempted to think that crypto is done. It's dead. It's going nowhere. It's just a passing fad. So I wanted to make this video to remind yours and my lizard brain that, hey, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology is going to revolutionize every single industry in the future. It doesn't matter if you are in athletics or education or business or finance, doesn't matter. It's going to revolutionize every single industry it touches. So in this video, that's what we're going to go over today, just practical use cases for some of these fantastic new technologies that is blockchain technology. If you're new to this channel, my name is Aaron. I'm going to journey to my next Bitcoin while helping you to your next Bitcoin. Not your financial advisor, just a lizard brain cowboy exploring the wild west of cryptocurrency with a whole bunch of other cowboys. Want to join with us? Hit the subscribe button down below. I'm going to really want your comments in this video because I'm going to be asking how you think blockchain technology can invade your industry and how it could revolutionize it. And if you like this kind of video, give us a like. Anyway, let's get right into this thing. There are at least 3 major use cases for blockchain technology. The first one is an NFT, the second one is a DAO, and the third one are tokens. And I'm going to go through each one of these if you're not familiar with them. So an NFT. An NFT stands for non-fungible token, and it's a way to prove digital ownership of something without fear of counterfeiting or plagiarizing, okay? So digital ownership of anything. And I think also that this is a status symbol as well. So a lot of people relate NFTs to art, and they should. It makes sense. With art, why does someone own like an expensive painting, like a Monet or a Picasso? Well, they want to hang it up on a wall and flex on their friends, like, oh, look at my Picasso. Oh, so that they're flexing on their status. But there's many ways that humans present their status and essentially try to attract value and worth, extract it from other humans and place it on themselves. So for instance, people go to these different, they travel and they like taking pictures of themselves. They post it on their Instagram and they showcase it off. Or they have awards or degrees. You see them right here, all these degrees or whatever. It's a way of portraying status. I mean, it's blurred out, so I'm not sure if anyone knew those were awards or degrees or whatever. But that's what I'm saying is like there's ways to portray status. Or medals, like if you won some kind of sports competition, you have these medals and you hang them up everywhere. Or even like job titles, like on your social profiles, you put like, oh yeah, I'm the CEO of this thing or whatever it is. There's many ways to ascribe status, right? But sometimes it could be forged. So for instance, a way to ascribe status to yourself is by wearing like designer brands like a Gucci purse or whatever. But Gucci purses can be counterfeited, right? And so in this case, an NFT makes it so that it is without a doubt, immutable, 100%, you own that thing. So it's not just, it's status. Like they actually acquired that status. So if they own a piece of art, like a digital piece of art, like, wow, that thing is worth so much money, you're really somebody or whatever if you take value in that. But there's also use cases to this. So like art has no practical use case. You can't use it. You can't show this piece of artwork to get into somewhere or whatever, but you could do that with an NFT and it's portable. So you could use an NFT as like a ticketing for an event. So you could say, you know how people sometimes save their ticket stubs when they go somewhere? Well, that's some of the case. You could like show your NFT and then get into this concert or get into this party or get into this event or whatever, like this exclusive event, then that's your ticket stub. And maybe they could add more value to that later. Like you could still keep on adding utility to that in future events. If you own this NFT, you'll always be able to come to our conference, kind of like Gary Vee style. So I think that's really cool. Another way is the real estate industry. It's a way, an NFT is a way to make sure that you own what you own. And you are who you are. So like as a form of identification. So when you're trying to sell a piece of real estate or a transaction in real estate, you have to check with title and identifications and banks and all this kind of stuff. But if you own an NFT, you 100% know this. So you could just make a house an NFT and sell it like that. And so it cuts out a whole bunch of middlemen. And that's what I think real estate professionals might be a little bit worried about. But maybe you could use the NFT technology in your industry for your benefit. People are already starting to do this, okay? This has already been happening. A house has sold as an NFT. Just look it up. I mean, these type of use cases are already happening. There is one small problem with an NFT, and that is visibility, right? How do you flex? Like for instance, in a video game, if you got a particular type of skin, or like I remember playing RuneScape where you have this particular like party hat or cowboy hat. Everyone's like he's so cool. Like these different video games or whatever. If you buy a skin, like it's a bit of a flex. Like, oh yeah, I got this particular skin and I look cool. There's a problem with this. Like, how do you showcase this value? And I think once social profiles start adopting NFT technology, like you put your NFT on there and sign in with your wallet and you actually own this thing, I think then we'll start to see a lot of major adoption, because that's a use case. It's showing your status in as many places as possible, like in a LinkedIn or a Twitter or a Facebook or an Instagram. I think when those platforms or platforms like it adopt that technology, I think we'll start to see a lot more excitement for the NFT space. That's the NFTs. The second one is a DAO. DAOs is a DAO, stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. And for this, I'm going to need my iPad. So most organizations operate in this type of structure, a triangle pyramid structure, where someone sits at the top and then they've got, like, let's say a board over there, and then like more people in middle management, and then you and I, the lizard brain peons, down at the bottom just working away. Now, for the decision making usually comes from like a board or a CEO at the top, or a founder or owner or whatever, and they make all the decisions. Well, this might be disconnected. They might be self-interested. They might have some secret back dealings, and then it really hurts the rest of this organization. Now, a DAO is not, so this, if this is like the old organization, this is the new way, a perfect circle, where a circle of people, like of equals and individuals, come together and they then vote on any major decisions that the organization takes. So let's say the crowd, let's say these guys would have been the CEOs, but they get outvoted by the crowd. Well, the organization, the decentralized organization, will go with the 80% versus the 20, and they're going to make the decision based on them. Now, this is very helpful, because in an organization where they're allowed to vote and you can't fudge votes, you can't do count. This is very useful in a whole bunch of different industries. Okay, so for example, in a school, maybe you send it out to all the students. Hey, we've got a budget of $10,000. Do you guys want us to add this coffee maker to the school, like a really expensive coffee maker? Or do you want us to add like this fountain to the school? Or do you want us, you know what I mean? Like, how do we use this money? And then you just send that out as a voting mechanism to people in the school. Or you could use it in like a lawn care business. So for instance, my lawn care just raised their rates from $60 to $100. Well, what if they put that out to all their customers? Hey, we are facing these challenges, $60 to $100, and we have to make this move. But we don't have to if everyone votes on it. So we could keep on charging $60, but we'll only cut you guys once a week. Or we could charge $100 and cut you guys 3 times a week. Which one would you rather do? Now, if someone just made that decision, someone made that decision by themselves, and then it got sent out to me and I canceled them, right? But what if we all voted we all kind of decide, oh no, we'd rather have just the one cut a month because of rainy season or whatever, or however it shakes out. This could be also used in governments, right? You can't counterfeit votes anymore. So why are we using this archaic method of mail-in voting or these ballots or whatever it is that people can kind of manipulate and counterfeit? You can't counterfeit these things anymore. You have to have some kind of identification to put in your vote. I think that's very useful. I think both left and right sides will find this useful. Like, hey, this is 100% not counterfeited. Whatever the decision is the decision. That's very useful. That's like a very useful way of democracy, right? That's actually democracy. And so there's this philosophical concept called the wisdom of the crowd. And it states basically this, that the wisdom of the crowd is greater than the wisdom or perspective of the few. Like in a lot of cases, that's why a board is created, or that's why the Senate's created, or Congress, or like this voting system of delegates. Because when you have more people, you have more perspective, you have more opinions, you have like all this kind of stuff. And so you're able to make a better decision for the greater good, for the greater mass, rather than just a few people making the secret decisions, maybe possibly on self-interest. There are some weaknesses to the DAO. The first weakness is that, hey, you can't hold secrets. I think that's a weakness, because in certain businesses, what if you have like a secret development that you don't want your competitors to know? But in a DAO, everything's open source. All the code is open source. It's transparent. Anyone can see what the DAO is trying to do. But in a business, maybe you want to hold back some secrets so that you can gain a competitive advantage over your competitors. Or two, it's susceptible to attacks. Hackers, it's just code. People can hack this thing. If they see vulnerabilities, they can hack it and adjust things. So there's obviously weaknesses to that. I recognize that as well. But nonetheless, it's still some groundbreaking, revolutionizing technology. The third case, so we talked about NFTs and DAOs. Let's talk about tokens. Tokens is just the way to give weight to someone who invests in a company. Okay, so for instance, I own Cowboy Company, Cowboy Inc., and you want to invest in it. Well, previously, like the old form, you just buy stocks, and then you get stocks. If the value of the company goes up, then the value of your stocks go up. Then you could sell it at a later date. You could own stocks that pay you dividends. So like every once in a while, every quarter or whatever, you get paid money back from the profits of this company. Well, a token is just a different way to do this. It's just a newer way. It's lighter, it's faster. You could trade these things more often, but you could actually add more utility to a token. Like for instance, you could add a tax so that anyone who buys a token, you can send money back. Or voting rights. Like if you have the particular amount of token, you enter into the DAO, and now you have a heavier voting right? Why? Because you are more heavily invested in this particular organization. And so I think tokenizing is just a helpful way for that. So anyway, let me know in the comments down below, like how can NFTs or DAOs revolutionize your industries? If you're a stay-at-home person, like how could that help you, right? Or if you own some kind of car wash or some kind of business, or you're in education, how could these different use cases kind of shape and shake out and revolutionize your industry? I'm interested to know. I'll read your comments. Thanks so much for watching. I'd love to make another video on this, see what kind of awesome ideas you guys have. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.